Welcome to Subramani. I'm trying to tackle a very old question which does not find a very easy answer. So the question is, how many shares should you hold in your portfolio? Remember, I will do a separate one on how many mutual funds you should hold. That is different and this is different. So the question is, how many shares should you hold? Now typically when you start investing, you're very young. You're very lucky if you're very young because you started at a younger age. Let's say you're 23, 24 and you started investing. Chances are you will buy something and that price may go up, you may book profit, something else you buy and the price goes down. You may be afraid to book a loss, you may feel ashamed booking a loss, you may not want to even admit to yourself that you made a mistake. So you will hold that. So chances are you will do a combination of some buying, some selling, some keeping, some selling off. But you will do 100 shares, 200 shares, because what hits you in your head is that number of shares. You don't really care about price, which is very funny because you pay in amount of money, right? So if I give you a 5 rupee share, chances are you will say, okay, buy me 500 shares, because you think you're buying a big amount with 2,500 rupees. And if I give you a 500 rupee share, there's a good chance that you will say, acha, buy me 5 shares. Again, it is 2,500 rupees, but I don't know whether you will have the guts to buy, say, 500 shares at 500 each. You may not have the cash flow and you may not have the ability to commit, or you may be very scared to commit so much to one stock, right? So that is how you start. Then later on, when you realize that you're actually making money from a few shares and not from every share that you have, and you should put more and more money in the successful companies, you start pruning down your portfolio. So should it be 100 shares, should it be 50 shares, should it be 20 shares? Companies like Motilal Oswal run very focused portfolios, whereas you could find other portfolios. I think HDFC Top 100 and even Franklin India Blue Chip would have 50-60 shares, or maybe slightly less, but and Motilal Oswal would have 25 shares. Just a matter of choice. So I end up seeing portfolios which are extremely long. I don't see a well managed amateur portfolio which is very focused and sharp and having a few scripts having this size. No, I don't see. I see extremely long ones. When it's managed by a professional, it is different, and I think it is right too, because a professional knows what he's doing. He knows why he's buying a Kajaria ceramic or why he's buying a Titan, right? If you don't know and you're just being carried away by what the market says and what the prices are, you will obviously have a pretty long portfolio. So when you're young, you will have a long portfolio. When you get older, you will keep pruning it, and you will understand that it is better for me to have 5,000 shares of a company rather than 500 shares of 10 companies or 20 companies, because at least in case of mutual funds, you can go for a growth option and not be bothered about the dividends. Whereas in equities, you will keep continuously getting dividends, 6,900, 4,800, 7,200, small bits of pieces, or even 182 rupees, 730 rupees, even those kind of numbers also. If you bought just 100 shares and those companies have not done anything to increase the number of shares, so those who have given you bonuses, splits, etc., at least you will have a reasonable size. You may have bought only 200 shares, but it gave you a bonus, so it became 400. Then they did a split, so it became 4,000. So you may have 4,000 shares of a company which you bought only 200, but another company which you bought 200 remains at 200. So that is not enhancing your value at all. So right, so how do you decide on how many shares in your portfolio? Assuming for a minute you're an amateur and doing it without any help, you're a DIY, go and look at the Sensex, look at the industries which are represented in the Sensex. So you will have financial services, you will have banking is part of financial services, you will have IT, you will have Reliance, which is now perhaps more an IT company and less of an oil company. You will have oil producing and distributing companies. You will have HPCLs, BPCLs, ONGCs of the world. You will have steel manufacturers like Tata Steel. You will have automobile manufacturers like Tata Motors. So make sure you write down all the industries. First, just writing down all the industries and see whether you are represented in all those industries, especially something which has a weightage of at least 5%. You cannot afford to ignore Reliance if you're trying to mimic the Sensex or Infosys or TCS. These are the big heavyweights. right? Maybe even ITC. So you would hold these shares, see how much as a percentage it is, and then have very strong reasons not to be in any industry, or to be in an industry which is not there in the index. Suppose you think infrastructure has not done well for a very long period of time, and infrastructure is not well represented in the index, then fine, you add infrastructure. So you decide which company to add, right? So you'll look around and find, oh, there's no good company, so you'll go back and buy Larsen and Toubro, like everybody does for infrastructure. If you have the ability and guts to look beyond the L&T, there might be companies which are available, but look at it because you think infrastructure is necessary, and good quality infrastructure is not included in the index for whatever it is. You will know that you have to have banking. You also need to know that you want the mutual fund industry which is not represented in the index. So say I will look at financial services, not just at banking. So which means you can have your bank, you could have a mutual fund, you could have a brokerage, you could have a stock exchange. NSE is going to be listed soon, right? BSE is already listed, so you could have a stock exchange, you could have a clearing house, right? All that is part of financial services. Just write down all those things in financial services and see which ones to pick. I'm not even getting into what return you're going to get and all that, but pick up the companies, pick up your ideal portfolio, maybe 50 shares, maybe 30 shares, maybe 500 shares, I don't know, your ideal portfolio which gives you comfort. I've seen people with a very long list and comfortable. I've seen people with a very short list and still saying, okay Subra, here is my portfolio of 20 crores, it has got some 37 shares, I want you to make it 32. Be ruthless. So right, so there are people who get more and more focused, and there are people who have, for say maybe about 1 crore of rupees, he would have 100 shares, and that there is somebody with say 26 crores or 27 crores and saying, I should not have more than 25 shares or no more than 22 shares. He puts an artificial limit on himself and decides that every year I'll cut down 1 or 2. But these are guys who understand portfolio composition. You need to understand portfolio composition and then use a model where you are reinvesting the dividend, and you may not reinvest the dividend. For example, if you've got excess of steel, the dividend that you get from a JSW or a Tata Steel, you may use it to buy Hindalco, which is not in steel but it is in aluminium and copper, right? Or if you think you've got too much of aluminium or copper, you might get that money and put it into JSW Steel. You could do that within the metal framework, or you could take money from metals and put it into banking. So create a portfolio first of what you think ideally should be there in your portfolio, then go and build it. Don't build it, just don't buy a share just because somebody tells you abhi ye upar jane wala hai. Don't buy a Fortis because the management has changed. Fine, management has changed. Have a look at what the new management is going to do. Read. Right now you do not know anything about the track record of the new company. Then go to Singapore, find out what they do, right? Do all those things. Make a list of shares which you would like to own. Make your ideal portfolio of 10 crores or 20 crores, whatever your aim is. First do that, then you will be able to decide. So do you need more than 30-40 companies? I doubt whether you need more than 30-40 companies. The more focused you are, the clearer that you are, you can keep on reducing. So first maybe make 40-50 companies. Then look at every company and say, is it justified? Is it justified? Is it justified? And am I in sync with the index as far as composition is concerned? Let's say 8% of the index is chemicals, and you have 32% in chemicals. It's time you removed the remaining 24%, or you had very solid reasons why you want to be in that. So first create your own imaginative portfolio, or rather imaginary portfolio, imaginary portfolio, imaginatively created, put it into some blog and some place where you can keep it and keep monitoring and seeing what is happening. Based on all this, you will learn how many shares to hold. I don't think there is one answer which anybody will be able to give. So you have to do what suits you. I mean, there are people for whom a big long list is better than a short list. That's fine. Let it be their choice, right? Thank you.